Buenos dias. As you said, Jose Ignacio Dominguez Jimenez.
Sí.
The lady on the screen,
Yes.
her name is Vivian Montero.
La señora en pantalla se llama Vivian Montero.
And she is a certified court interpreter.
Okay.
Ella es certificada.
Vivian, you're breaking up a little bit this morning.
Try shutting off my camera.
All right. The video, it gives us more bandwidth. All right, let's try that again. She is a certified court interpreter.
Ella es una intérprete jurídica certificada.
Here's a little more daily frustration, whatever that little beep is. Senor, the file number here is 251735.
El número de caso es 251635.
You're charged with operating while intoxicated.
Usted es el cargo de conducir en estado de ebriedad.
Sí.
In Michigan, that is a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500.
En Michigan, conlleva una máxima penalidad posible hasta 93 días de cárcel y una multa hasta $500.
I'm going to take a minute and swear in our interpreter.
Voy a tomar un momento y pedir que nuestro intérprete preste juramento.
Although we can't see you, would you please raise your right hand?
Yes.
You swear or affirm to the best of your ability you will interpret these matters from Spanish into English and English into Spanish.
I do.
And would you state your name for the record, please?
Montero Court Interpreter 18369.
This charge also is accompanied by a charge of no valid operator's license.
También usted tendría el cargo de no licencia.
That's a misdemeanor,
Es un delito menor.
punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $100.
Este cargo conlleva la máxima penalidad posible hasta 90 días de cárcel y una multa hasta $100.
You have met with Ms. Jackson from the Public Defender's Office.
Usted habló con la licenciada Jackson del despacho de abogados de oficio.
And it's her recommendation that you plead not guilty and I appoint an attorney to help you with this.
Es la recomendación de ella que usted conteste no culpable y que le asigne un abogado de oficio para ayudarle.
Is that acceptable to you?
¿Está bien para usted?
You have to speak your answer.
Tiene que responder verbalmente.
You said, sí. Where do you live, sir?
¿Dónde trabaja usted, señor? Perdón, ¿dónde vive? ¿Dónde vive usted?
En Three Rivers, Michigan.
Do you know your address?
¿Dirección?
No me la sé.
Do you know what
I don't
street
know.
it is?
¿Sabe el nombre de la calle?
Es que me cambié. Estaba viviendo en una casa y de ahí me moví para otra. Pero
I was living in a house, but I
No me sé
moved to another. I don't know the address.
Do you work at the dairy farm?
¿Usted trabaja en el rancho de vacas?
no.
Where do you work?
¿Dónde trabaja?
Trabajo en una compañía de maíz.
In a corn company.
In Constantine?
¿En Constantine?
No, en Howe, Indiana.
All right.
In Indiana.
All right. Well, I'm going to have the clerk hand you the paperwork that tells you when your next court date is.
Entonces, le voy a entregar el papel para la próxima fecha de audiencia.
You need to be here on Friday morning, October 3rd at 8:30.
El viernes por la octubre a las 8:30 de la mañana.
We will have an interpreter there to
Habrá un
assist.
intérprete para ayudarle.
But when you call your lawyer, you're going to need to have someone to help you translate.
Pero cuando llama a su abogado, va a necesitar una persona bilingüe para interpretar.
All right, I'm going to have the court officer take you out and get the paperwork for your attorney.
Voy a pedir que el oficial venga ahí al despacho jurídico para conseguir los papeles sobre su abogado.
Eliana Raymond. Good morning.
Morning.
I'm looking at you. Either Ty's your father or Ashley is your mother.
Ashley's my mother.
All right, that makes me feel really old. Not as old as Mr. Beerline makes me feel, since I met him when he was about 3. But my son went to school with your mom.
Yep.
And I remember you look very much like your mother. I'm sure you hear that a lot.
Yeah. I've been here with my mom too a couple of times.
Yes. Yeah, she's had some travails.
So, right.
All right, Miss Raymond, you got charged with retail fraud under the Three Rivers Ordinance. It's alleged that July of 2024 that you stole some property from the Walmart store. The allegation is you went in there and you stole a fishing rod and some tissue paper. It wasn't toilet tissue paper. It was like present wrapping paper. So it looked like maybe you went in to take this as a gift. Anyway, they had a video of it. They turned it over to the police. The police then requested a warrant. And a year later, you get stopped at Niles and picked up on this warrant. So did you even know there even was a warrant?
No, I had no idea. And then also when I got pulled over, he told me it was in October of 2024.
This says offense date July of 24. They issued the warrant in August of 2024. How did you come to get arrested in Niles?
So I never got arrested, but my headlight was out when I got pulled over. And he had gotten my license and my insurance, and he had me step out of the vehicle, and he had mentioned that I had a warrant from October 2024. And I had no idea. So, and then we had negotiated that if I paid $50 fine, that I wouldn't get arrested, and then I would be sent home with a court date and
All right, that's a $50 bond.
or bond. Yeah.
All right, we'll have a seat. We're gonna see if we can find the Three Rivers City Attorney, Mr. George. He's here somewhere. I saw him stick his head in.
I'm gonna go see if he's busy at the moment, Your Honor.
Yeah, this wasn't even scheduled today, so it's not even on his radar. What are you here for this morning?
Village of White Pigeon versus Tyler Fry, Your Honor.
Did you have a resolution in that case?
Yes, sir.
All right, well, let's do that one. Have you got the paperwork?
I don't have any specific paperwork.
Yeah, there was some at the counter. Laura, would you bring me the pretrial on Tyler Fry from White Pigeon? Mr. Fry, why don't you go over to the podium a minute for the file to show up? Mr. Fry, you've got $395 worth of unpaid fines and costs. But apparently aren't due till 9/13. Thank you. Um, Are you Tyler Ray Fry?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Fry, you got charged with about the rinky-dinkiest misdemeanor there may be. It's called open intox in a motor vehicle. It is a misdemeanor in Michigan to drive around with open intoxicants. My old chief assistant thought there should have been an exception if it was a dirt road. There's no such thing as a dirt road exception, but in Texas and some other states, the passenger is allowed to have alcohol in the car open, but not in Michigan. So it's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. The normal fine is $75 plus costs. Mr. Thal, what's the status here?
Your Honor, we have reached an agreement where Mr. Fry will plead guilty to the lesser charge of allowing a violation of the motor vehicle code. And we will dismiss the charge of open intox in a motor vehicle with a sentence recommendation of just fines and costs.
Well, it's an interesting plea because this won't show up on your driving record.
Yeah.
An open intox in a motor vehicle shows up on your driving record, could affect your insurance rates and other things. This will show as allowing another to violate the motor vehicle code, which doesn't carry any points, doesn't show up on your driving record, and won't affect those sorts of things. It is a misdemeanor punishable by up to 90 days in jail, a fine of up to $100. You understand? Yes.
Your Honor.
All right. Do you understand that if you plead to that charge, and this applies to anybody else here who may be taking a plea, you'll be giving up your rights to have a trial in front of a judge or jury. There will not be a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor. It was my fault. I just overlooked it.
All
It was
right.
left in there by my dad.
Well, if you had a trial, you'd have the right to be represented by an attorney. You could hire one, or I could appoint one for you. If you had a trial, you'd have a right to have any of the witnesses for or against you subpoenaed to come to court, so they could be questioned under oath, and you have the right to be presumed innocent unless the state was able to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. So you were driving that day and you had an open beer can in the car?
No, it was a little mason jar. Me and my pops had been working on my truck earlier that day, and he had left it in the cup holder, and that the truck, it's older and there's no dome light in it. So later on that night, I was trying to get my little son to fall asleep. So I decided to take him on a car ride, and I just overlooked it because the dome light's not wired in, and I blew for him, blew all zeros.
All right, well, I'm gonna reduce the fine a little bit. I'm gonna make it $50.
Okay.
$50 fine, $75 crime victims' rights fee, and a $50 state minimum fee is $175 rather than $225. Was there some alcohol in the mason jar?
Apparently, he had been drinking a vodka and lemonade earlier that day, so there was like some little yellow liquid in there, and I guess Officer Hansen tested it.
Well, that ain't the crime of the century. All right, now you already owe me a bunch of other
Yeah.
money. Are you on a payment plan?
Yeah, I am.
Are you making any payments?
I have been, yes. I thought I owed him less than that, though.
Well, maybe it's less. It shows a domestic assault, $125, disobey stop sign, $120, no proof of insurance. Was that from this same incident?
No.
All right, well, you got some unpaid fines,
Yep.
so we'll make it part of the existing payment plan.
Okay.
Did you have Trey Hensley too? He didn't show up.
No, Your Honor, I
That
only
wasn't
had
yours.
this one this morning.
He had Zambrano, which has got some white pigeon stuff in it, and Mr. Zambrano didn't show up. All right, well, thanks for coming all the way down for that. Mr. Fry, we'll make this part of your existing payment plan. The court officer will take you out.
Yeah.
How about if you don't come back for a while?
Well, we'll try.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Jackson, did you get any contact with Mr. George?
I did, Your Honor. He would take a civil infraction upon that case.
All right, very good. Ms. Raymond, would you come back up to the podium?
All right, let's talk about that. Judge Middleton's docket here gave us 3 very different cases. An OWI with a language barrier, a retail fraud that turned into a delayed surprise, and one of the smallest misdemeanors you'll ever see. An open container in a truck cup holder was Jose Ignacio Dominguez Manis appearing with a certified interpreter. He was charged with operating while intoxicated and no valid license, both misdemeanors. Middleton took extra care, swearing in the interpreter, explaining maximum penalties, and making sure Dominguez understood every right before entering a not guilty plea on his behalf. The judge even drilled down on practicalities: where he lived, where he worked, and whether he had someone bilingual to help him talk with his lawyer. The atmosphere was patient but firm, with Middleton stressing the importance of showing up at the next court date and using an interpreter when calling counsel. Then came Eliana Raymond, back on a retail fraud warrant from over a year earlier. The allegation was that she stole a fishing pole and gift wrap from Walmart, apparently to use as a present. Middleton noted that Walmart had video, police had pursued it, and a warrant was issued in 2024, though Raymond claimed she only learned of it when pulled over months later. She said she'd even worked out a $50 bond with the officer at the roadside. Middleton gave her time to sit while they tracked down the prosecutor, but his tone made clear: even small thefts don't just vanish. Finally, Tyler Fry brought some levity. He was charged with open intoxicants in a motor vehicle after police found a mason jar with vodka and lemonade in his cup holder. Fry explained it was his dad's, left behind after helping repair his truck, and that he'd overlooked it because the dome light didn't work. He even noted he'd blown all zeros on the breath test. The prosecutor and defense cut a deal: plead to a lesser, allowing violation of the vehicle code, which doesn't hit the driving record. Middleton approved it, calling it the rinky-dinkiest misdemeanor there may be. He knocked the fine down to $50 plus costs and folded it into Fry's existing payment plan, quipping, "That ain't the crime of the century." The overall atmosphere swung from careful translation and due process to a little dry humor. Middleton kept the OWI case serious, gave the retail fraud its procedural weight, and lightened the mood with Fry's mason jar mix-up. Time to break this one down. Judge Middleton showed how a small-town docket can range from serious rights protections to common-sense resolutions, all in one morning. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.